All right, welcome back to lesson 3 of week 4 of the Confidence Currency Intensive. This is Go Week, so you've begun to walk out your personal health plan. That's exciting stuff. All of this week, I'm giving you the keys that I have learned from my own experience on how to walk out this journey and reach your health goals in a way that is sustainable and in a way that's realistic. Now, imagine with me, you go to the store, you're going to make a purchase, and when you go to do it, the clerk says, sorry, your card was declined. You're confused because you were pretty sure you had enough money in your account to make the purchase. So when you go home, you look at your account and you realize that while you don't see any big withdrawals from your account, you do see a lot of little withdrawals coming from your account, realizing that somehow you've been hacked, they've been making small withdrawals, and now you're left totally broke. This would be pretty alarming, but honestly, this is what happens a lot to people when it comes to needing to make changes to their health. Is there's not one big reason why they give up. There's not one big reason why they are not reaching their goals. It's actually just a bunch of little things. There's a bunch of little leaks that are causing them not to make the progress they want and not to reach their goals. You know, when you first started this intensive, we spent a lot of time looking at where you've been, looking at where you're currently at now. And eventually, as you continue on in this journey, you're going to discover that you're in a very different place than you were when you started this journey. Now, I know you're only in week 4, so maybe you can't identify with this yet, but eventually you will. And as you go through this journey, you're going to change. That's kind of the point, right? You want to encounter some change and transformation in your life. And so you're going to change. And so your beliefs and your behaviors and many of those things, your habits, those things are going to change. And you're going to need to continually do an evaluation of how are things going if you're going to make sure that there aren't any of these leaks in your account. Right? If you were actually going and looking at your checking account every day, you probably would have noticed these leaks for that, that scenario. But we need to do the same thing. We need to do a regular evaluation of how are we doing and where are we at in order to ensure that we're not slowing down our progress. I know for me, when I feel like I get to a place that maybe I feel like, you know what, I'm just feeling like the motivation is waning a little bit. Things are feeling a little bit dry. I don't feel as committed and, excited about this process. There are a few leaks I know that I need to pay attention to. Are there any leaks going on? And there are a few that regularly pop up. The first is maybe I need to go back and I need to look at my personal health plan and see, have I been doing the things that I said I was going to do? Have I been keeping my why list in front of me? Have I been setting those monthly goals? Have I been meeting those monthly goals? Have I been, getting rewards for them? Am I actually tracking my calories? If I'm not, if I don't have a food log, there's your leak right there. That's typically the first one. Am I tracking my calories? And even within that, that's a premier way to see where the leak is. For example, I noticed that I just knew that I was not making headway the way that I wanted to. And when I reviewed my food journal, I saw, it seems that, I'm regularly having some sort of before bed snack. And that before bed snack is usually adding up about to be at least 300 calories. Now, I'm all for having a bedtime snack, but I've got to allot for that in my day. And so I had to decide, I either need to cut this bedtime snack, this additional 300 calories, or I need to make an allotment for it in my day if I want to have it. So that was a leak that was, causing me to slow down in my progress, because 300 calories per day, times 7, that's a good amount of calories in a week that I'm adding on. It was just a leak that was kind of causing me to not make progress. Or something as simple as my fitness is just feeling dry. It's feeling repetitive. I'm just not feeling motivated in that way. You've got to reevaluate, where are you at on this journey? Because 2 months, 6 months, 1 year from now, you're going to be in a different place than you are today. So you've got to look at your journey and say, where am I? How am I doing? And you have lifetime access to this course. So I would really recommend that at minimum, once a year, you sit down and you commit 4 weeks to saying, I'm really going to take a look at what are the new thoughts that I'm having? What are the new beliefs that I'm having? Because you're going to be in whole new situations. You might find yourself, in a gym regularly now, and that comes with its own new sets of beliefs and encounters and behaviors. You might find yourself in this sort of community group with people who are trying to, make changes like yourself. New environments come with new behaviors, come with new beliefs, and come with a need for evaluation. So you've got to really take the time to evaluate how you're doing. Another leak that I commonly could see with myself is that Monday through Friday, I would be on it. My nutrition was on point, my fitness was on point, but then when I would look at my fitness log and my nutrition log for the weekend, it was like half-baked. I was always seeming that my schedule was thrown off, and so my eating would be thrown off or my fitness would be thrown off. And so that would be another example of a leak that I just needed to tighten up, because it can really drain some really valuable confidence currency that you've been racking up. And again, these things are not, these bumps in the road. They're not things that are saying, oh, look, see, I'm a failure, I can't do it. No, they're opportunities to learn so that you can say, oh, this is what's wrong. I'm just gonna fix it, and then I'm gonna keep on moving. If your car, had an engine problem, you wouldn't just totally trash the car. You would say, I'm gonna give the engine a tune-up. And you are regularly going to need a tune-up as you continue to go through life and as you continue to change. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is that celebrating your wins. I cannot overemphasize the value of this. There's going to be so many things that you go through on this journey that are just hard. I can't put it any other way. There are things that you are going to do every single day that are just hard. And there are going to be times when it just feels like it takes so much effort and so long to see the progress that it's so valuable for you to celebrate the little wins. You've got to do this. Just like how you're keeping your why list in front of you that's motivating you on the reasons why you want to do this, you also need to keep that confidence currency ledger that you'll find in your coursework materials in front of you to remind you that not just that you can do it or that you will do it, but that you are doing it. That ledger is so that you can record all of the small little victories that you encounter every single day. I would highly recommend, if not command, you to, at the end of every day, just say, what is one thing that I'm proud of that I did today? What's just one thing? It could be something so small. It could be, I picked up a weight at the gym that was 5 pounds heavier than I've ever lifted before. I went on a walk today instead of, sitting at lunch and just scrolling through my phone, sitting and scrolling. I went on a stroll. It could be that I chose a salad at lunch today instead of pizza. It could be, so many different things. It could be I decided to get a to-go box at the restaurant and I automatically put half of my food in it and just put it to the side and just portion my food out that way. Celebrating a win that you do every single day is going to be like coal in the furnace that is just going to keep you going and keep that confidence currency flowing in. I still do this regularly, at least a few times a week. I will sit down and I'll say, Tiffany, what is something that you're proud of that you did at the gym this week? Now, in so many ways, I've kind of, in my opinion, I've hit like my pinnacle of, what I hope to do physically. So it's not like I still have insecurity about can I work out or can I be in a gym or something like that. But it's still so valuable for me to see, oh, hey, you did some push-ups on your toes. You did 3 push-ups on your toes, because that just kind of keeps me engaged. It keeps me not feeling bored. It keeps me feeling like I'm in the game, and it keeps me having that confidence currency flowing in, and you're going to need that. So maybe you celebrate your confidence currency ledger and you share that with someone else. Great. But even if you don't share it with anyone, even if you just have it regularly before you, celebrating those small wins, things as small as, hey, when everybody was passing around a tray of chocolates today, I chose not to take that chocolate. Or, hey, I tracked my food today, even when I really didn't want to, and I knew that maybe nobody else would know. I did it, and I was consistent, and I was disciplined, and I did it. Keep those wins in front of you. Celebrate those wins. You're gonna do it naturally as you're setting your monthly goals and evaluating those monthly goals, but you don't need to wait for once a month to celebrate the good decisions that you're making. You can celebrate them every single day. And I just highly, highly recommend that you do that, because only you know the many, many ways that you're kicking butt. Only you know the ways that you are just kicking fear in the face and the ways that you are just racking up that confidence currency. So celebrate, celebrate, celebrate those wins.